Hello friends, in this short lecture today, we will be discussing about data types. So what are data types? Data types are basically the uh, categories of information that C program stores. So when you define a variable, very shortly we'll be discussing about them. So one should define their data type. Or you can also say that data type is a property that instruct a computer on how the computer can interpret a particular value. Basically, when you are supplying any number, let's say 5, to the computer, then inside the memory of computer, this number has to be stored. So, for storage, how much byte of information or how much byte of storage space this particular number has to be assigned in priority, this should be explained to the computer. Then only it will be storing some space in the memory for that particular number. So, when it comes to data types, there are several data types. The very basic are the primitive data types. Or one can also say primary data type. They are integer, float, double, and string. Basically, you can say character. What are integers? Integers are numbers without any decimal point. For example, 1, minus 5, 100, minus 297, 25. They all are integers. They are devoid of decimal. They don't have any decimal. So these are called as integers. What are float? Floats are those particular which are having a decimal with them. For example, minus 29.6 or 26.5 or 29.998 and so on. So the way these floating numbers are stored inside the memory or the integers are stored, the memory space or the memory requirement will be different. This is if this is storing some number, so that particular number will be having different storage, this will be having different. So normally if we talk of integers, they normally occupy 4 bytes. And if we talk of these floating values, then they occupy around 8 bytes. So it depends again on the processor also. Now, double will be touching up later because this is nothing but floating value but with having more space. If a variable is defined as a double, so it can store, it can, the memory which the computer allocates to it will be more. And then comes the character. So characters are what? Anything in single quotes, that is A, B. If I write one also, so this becomes a character and so on. So character is basically letter you can think. Okay, and that normally occupies how much? 1 byte, I think. So in this way, the primitive data types are defined. So whenever you are defining anything to any variable, later on we'll see, then the data type has to be defined in priority because C will not consider automatic detection or automatic sort of. So you have to define it. Apart from this, you have derived data types. That is your structure, then arrays, and then unions, etc. Then comes the enumerated data type is also there, enum. We'll see this. And there is empty data type also, which we called as void. Empty data type means the return type will be nothing, empty value. So the primary data type which we will normally be using is integer, float, and characters. So in this lecture, till this point only. In the next lecture, we will be first understanding about the uh, variables, and then we will be understanding the input and output statements or the functions, and then we'll be writing our first program. So thank you very much in this lecture till this point only.